Is it possible to see skill-based matchmaking go away under 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗧 regime? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in, because today we got some wild news about Modern Warfare 2 skill-based matchmaking. If you want that to go away, leave a like. If you love skill-based matchmaking, leave a dislike, and let's check this out.
Today we're talking about matchmaking, a system that largely with Modern Warfare 2019 changed everyone's perception and was brought to the forefront of the discussion.
My guy, it changed everything, okay? I know that there's tons of soya going around. People are filled with estrogen, and on top, when you drink G Fuel and you pair that up with skill-based matchmaking, that's the perfect recipe of disaster. I wouldn't mind skill-based matchmaking. Oh my god!
Hold up, did I just say that?
No, the situation here is that I wouldn't mind skill-based matchmaking if that was to happen in a ranked play, okay? Give us ranked play, but public matches, just we don't want skill-based matchmaking in the normal multiplayer. Or maybe you want it, I'm not sure, okay? You let me know though.
Every year since. For the last 2 to 3 years here from where we are and when it was introduced, it's been a hot topic of discussion for all players involved. What was largely called skill-based matchmaking was felt heavily in Modern Warfare 2018's beta for sure. I can't recall off the top of my head if it was apparent in the alpha, given that it was just round-based 2v2 gunplay, but I still remember my beta experience perfectly. The first 5...
For the 2v2, it wasn't too bad though. It wasn't as bad. But in the normal multiplayer, dude, it was tough as a mother trucker out there. I was sweating my balls off, my nuts off every single day.
I absolutely dominated. I think my first game that I played was a Groznyj raid domination, like 10v10 or something like that, if that was in the beta. Double or triple chopper gunner gameplay, absolutely bodying players. Fast forward a few games though, and well, that's when the matchmaking hit and it became something like a competitive GB match.
In the name of the queen and country, please just remove skill-based matchmaking. It's a disease that we don't want, okay? Just remove that for the love of everything, man.
Absolutely flipped. I can recall another period when that happened as well, pre-launch of Black Ops Cold War. Matchmaking wasn't quite turned on, if you want to call it that, until the global launch of the game at 9 p.m. Pacific time, midnight Eastern of launch night. If you had the game earlier than that, you somehow got into the servers. Matchmaking was solely based on ping, and you could absolutely find...
Remember the time when ping was king? I don't even remember anymore, bro.
By comparison to just a few hours later. The system has become integral to matchmaking in Call of Duty across traditional MP, as well as Warzone, and it's something that's turned off players for a multitude of different reasons. Many want a pub stomp. They just want to do as best as they can all of the time.
And many just want to play, dude. Like, I just want to play, and skill-based matchmaking is clipping my nuts, okay? But I recently actually started playing Modern Warfare 2019 though. I would play like 2-3 games. My first few games were actually good, but then skill-based matchmaking started kicking in, and then I peaced out. But I would just play like a map here and there, and it's actually quite fun till skill-based matchmaking gets involved.
There's nothing wrong with that. I know that's absolutely the most common argument that I hear against people wanting loosened skill-based matchmaking.
Yeah.
Me, personally, what I really notice is that statistically being in the top 1% of players globally, ping discrepancies, hitching in gameplay would be something that I would notice, and I'm sure a lot of others notice, because to create that sort of relatively even level gameplay, finding those other higher tiered players may not be in the same relative area as you. So from an interest of just easier competition to the other end of the spectrum of genuinely having games be affected in connection, I'm sure there's a number of different reasons you could come up with that you don't want the matchmaking system we've seen in Modern Warfare 2.
I really hope the system is not the same, because if skill-based matchmaking is the same as Modern Warfare 2019, bro, that would be such a monk-ass moment out there. Not only that there's skill-based matchmaking, there's like EBMM, engagement-based, there's like retention-based, like mother truckers got the entire base matchmaking everywhere out there. Like, what is this? Are we really doing this? Like, bruh, like, just
all things introduced with Modern Warfare 2019, the seasonal ranking system, the revised battle pass, it was all in the name of elongating player retention. So
yeah, there it is.
Representation of the last few years matchmaking would be retention-based matchmaking, not necessarily skill-based.
This in the name of the queen and country, please leave that out of our games, man. Can a brother get like skill-based matchmaking free lobbies for once? I mean, dude, put it in ranked place. Put it in ranked place. Sometimes I want to play in skill-based matchmaking lobbies, and when I want to do that, I want to be able to do that in ranked play like other people as well. This is why ranked play exists. Put it in ranked play. But public matches, keep it random. This is why it's fun. I'm not sure about disbanding lobbies though. Ralph did say that disbanding of lobbies is not going away, so every time you would play, the lobbies will deteriorate. And yeah, that's like a monk cast moment. There's no way you can actually connect with other homies out there. You know, normally whenever you get inside the lobbies with randoms, there's always like the clan war kind of thing, right? Especially if you got your homies and they got their homies, you want to go for round 2, sometimes round 3. There's that banter, there's obviously that fake toxicity as well. We're missing that now big time. That banter will never come back, because now you can get mad at randoms, but then next game there will be new randoms and you're getting mad at them again. I personally don't even connect voice chat, honestly. I'm a defeated gamer.
Learn your play habits and, for lack of a better descriptor, game your emotions. That matchmaking algorithm knew when you were about to get off, what habits and performance usually preceded a shut off for that play session, and what kept you on. So the algorithm would feed you good lobbies for a bit if you're about ready to get off, and once you had those good lobbies, it would gradually throw you back into that pool of maybe tougher ones. And
bro, I would say it's a disease, bro. It's reminding me of the time when Facebook detected the fact that your girl is preggo before she even knew, because the algorithm was really smart, okay? And this is kind of like the same shit. I mean, this algorithm is crazy, man. It will know when you're about to get off. Damn, man, that is crazy, dude.
Cycle, the ultimate goal of which to keep the player on as long as possible. Now, where does the potential change come into play, if there is one? Well, that started actually all the way back in February and is compounded with recent information that we learned about the gameplay systems that, with full transparency, is not confirmed. It does look to be something that makes this claim even more
Ralph,
valid.
maybe?
Back in February, industry insider Ralph's Valve had mentioned that despite plans for revising Modern Warfare 2's skill-based matchmaking system, disbanding lobbies are supposedly here to stay for all future premium Call of Duty titles.
Yeah, there it is, boys. So apparently, yes, skill-based matchmaking might get a revision, and we're not sure whether it's gonna be a good revision, whether they're gonna be upping the skill-based matchmaking, or whether they're gonna be upping a little bit more. I'm not gonna use the word lowering, because, like, listen, that's I think under 𝗫𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃's regime, it's very hard to see that happen. But they're gonna be revising, but disbanding of lobbies is here to stay, sadly.
That last bit in and of itself is a whole discussion, but not what I want to really get into with this video just yet.
Damn.
The key part being that there was apparently revisions being made to the matchmaking system, as we've previously detailed. That retention-based matchmaking system finally seeing some changes, whereas it hadn't the last 3 years. That initial report was then followed up to questions asking about it in relation to what does the revision mean, making it more or less restrictive, with Ralph replying, less debilitating. Demonware has had this particular system in R&D for a few years now. They're certainly against the idea of disciplining the better margin players, also stating that there's a fine line with matchmaking where do they draw the line in the players that are losing the matches to the point in the algorithm where they either back out of the game and requeue or close the game entirely. So from the get-go,
bro, like why complicated, dude? Like why?
Heard that skill-based matchmaking will be revised and in a way it seems toned down, which for all sweats, that's absolute music to our ears perhaps. Now, will this be the old glory days of pub stomping every lobby like we did in Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2? Probably not, but you may not be feeling like you're sweating 24/7 in a standard.
Black Ops 2 was the best era, dude.
But recent reports further that information and perhaps even compounds with information that we learned, officially speaking, for improvements to the AI systems that we'll see in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone.
Now, before he talks about it, I believe I actually watched a video from 𝗫𝗏𝗃𝗏, and he did say that there will be about 300 to 400 AIs in the game. No! My guy, if that's true and you paired that up with the sound, like, I believe he said that it will be all at once. I could be wrong, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it's possible. But he did say something along the lines of that. And if that's really true, my guy, could you imagine like the sound effect of everybody's footsteps out there, like the actual players and the AI? It will be like it will break everybody's EXE, honestly.
Recently, Ralph stated from a source that the new system would accommodate the brackets for all players, higher and lower skill, in a less debilitating manner, allowing for the lower brackets to coexist, following up with a report on how bots could be working to fill out those matches for a genuinely required protected bracket. That bracket,
you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Battlefield 2042 buckles, because that also had AI. And I would say, what, man, like AI is a good thing to have, because if you want to just practice and just enjoy and chill out, you can play that against bots. There it is. I believe that might be the antidote of skill-based matchmaking in private lobbies, right? But if that's not gonna count towards XP, then that's gonna be pointless. But if it counts towards the XP, then there will be a lot of people that would like, you mean, so you actually grind this mod because you played against bots, so there will be a whole lot of that as well. I mean, damn, bro, gamers never win, okay? We gamers, we never win, okay? That's the sad part. But at the end of the day, though, I feel like it's actually a good thing, because if we get it, then it can keep the game alive for a little longer. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's good.
Handicapped players in that bracket having tool sets to combat those that would try and smurf their way in or reverse boost their way in to that lower protected bracket. Now, this report came a few weeks before the official reveal of Modern Warfare 2, and when the plausibility of seeing bots in the game seemed kind of odd. But to me, this now checks out, given what we know and given what we saw with the discussion, in sort of an ambiguous way about how Infinity Ward
Modern Warfare 2's AI is the most realistic and deadly ever. Find out next.
Talked about their overhaul to the bot system and the AI coming in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, but didn't quite give any definitive answer on if they were coming to multiplayer or if they weren't. And when pressed further, said that they were still figuring out the systems in place. To me, this checks out that with such knowledge of that overhaul system ahead, and given that this report was made weeks before the reveal of the game, I'm inclined to at least consider that maybe there is that protected bracket with genuine bot play.
Honestly, man, I don't know though, alright? But no, I'm not saying that I don't know on the homie Ecoliesspresso. I think the homie Ecoliesspresso is spitting facts. He's trying to bust myths, spitting facts, busting myths, right? He does that on a daily basis, like you as well, right? But damn, right? Protected bracket with genuine bot. I don't think like under whose regime we're under after 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗧. 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗧, that's the main regime we're under, but then there's that guy who created safe spaces. I forgot his name. 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗧, yeah, 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗧, suplex 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗧. That's the tagline of blame truth. I'm not telling you to suplex 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗧. It's just that that's how I got reminded of him, because I did forget the name. Weird how that works out. But yeah, man, what I'm saying here is that under 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗧's regime, it's impossible. I don't think it's possible.
But then the coexisting of other higher skilled brackets or just average player brackets are there as well. But where does that leave us? Will we now be seeing every YouTuber post gameplays of literal bot gameplay? I mean, probably. I'm sure there's always going to be those people that will exploit their ways into the systems. But for
okay, so when he says bots, I'm assuming he meant to say like the hacking lobbies. But in my mind, when I say bot lobbies, I'm thinking the bots, the AI bots that we're gonna be having in the game, right? The real one, the legal version, let's just say, right? The one that you play against other bots, just like in Battlefield 2042, and that's considered good, right? But I think he means to say like the hacking kind of lobbies.
Vast majority of content for the vast majority of player experiences, you or I'd wager that it affects next to nothing in that regard. The way the report sounds, if the failsafes are as good as anticipated, the way that I see it, is almost like an expanded boot camp playlist from back in the day. For those that weren't around back for the original Call of Duty games, the older ones,
y'all missed out.
I think it was only available in World at War.
Y'all missed out. Y'all missed out.
Black Ops 2. But anyways, Boot Camp was a TDM playlist that was built out for the new players to multiplayer in mind, getting them acquainted with the weaponry, some of the maps, and all of the play experiences, but was only accessible to those that were level 8 and lower. After you hit level 9,
I believe it was rank 1 to 10 or something like that. I could be wrong, but I remember Black Ops 1, it had a boot camp like level 1 to 10. You know what, for Modern Warfare 2, I got a solution, man. Make it like level 1 to prestige 20 billion out there. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But make it from level 1 to realistically level 1 to level 30, right? That way the noobs will get experience. They would actually play against people that are on same level, right? And then you can also have less skill-based matchmaking, or maybe no skill-based matchmaking, and have a lot of skill-based matchmaking in actual rank play lobbies instead of having that in public. I think that would be much better.
You could no longer enter this, so it would sort of protect that bracket of new players to the game in a sense, but once you ended up going back there, you couldn't go and pub stomp on any newbies. You ended up just having to play the regular game like everybody else. I kind of envision the system like that, where a certain criteria that's met for genuinely needed protected brackets to enter into on the back end would get those sort of
they're trying to
lobbies
protect
with
the
bots,
noobs, man.
But then, hopefully, if all things work ideally, those existing brackets above that wouldn't be so tightly knit, where the remaining 70 to 80 to 90% of players that would not need to be in that protected bracket would then have a less restrictive gameplay experience, where perhaps ping truly is king and the only thing...
Ping is never king, but I feel like at one point it was considered king, but nowadays it's like gone are the days, man. I wish there was a way to know you were in the good old days before you left them, man.
That affects your
Damn,
matchmaking
son.
and lobbies to follow, balancing out the team with a
Damn,
sort of
son.
skill-based matchmaking system only once those lobbies were formed, similar to how we've seen in every single Call of Duty before Modern Warfare 2019. Games like Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3 did have skill-based matchmaking systems in place, but they were more so a team balancing effort once a match and lobby was chosen.
Yep.
That's why you could end up being a one-man squad where your 5 other teammates in domination were absolutely useless. You may have just been that very high-skilled player of those 12 children.
He's talking about you. He's talking about you. Yeah, you, man. You were actually crazy good, but now they clipped your nuts, man. You cannot do anything about it.
And had to have your experience balanced out by not so helpful teammates, to put it lightly. With the possible inclusion of bots actually in the game, allowing for those protected players to play with some players, but also have bots round out that experience, maybe that does allow for a loosened matchmaking system in regards to those players that don't need protected.
They gotta stop protecting the noobs. I mean, come on, bro. Like, we're in 2022. Like, bro, like, just make like boot camps. Just make 20 tons of boot camps out there from level 1 to maybe prestige 20 billion out there. Keep the noobs in there and make the normal lobbies actually feel normal again. Click on this video on the screen. We got some of the angriest Modern Warfare 2 reviews out there. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to handle it. Yep, I don't think so.